Hey everyone, Blaze here, welcome back to another anime haul. Today I'm going to be focusing on all the Sentai Filmworks DVDs I've got, which is quite a lot, probably about 30 or something. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm going to start the video with ones I bought outside of their holiday sales, and I'm going to show you a tower, basically, of DVDs that I bought in their 2020 Sentai Filmworks holiday sale. I actually didn't do their holiday sale last year, 2021. I was buying other things which I'll show at another time. But anyway, yeah, so let's go over the stuff I actually went out of my way to get, like properly, because this is all stuff that wasn't available in their store for sale. This is stuff that's been, you know, properly out of print for a while and no backstock anywhere pretty much. So yeah, I'm going to start off with one that I actually used to own and I stupidly sold. I went through a period where I sold stuff, and some of the stuff I picked to sell really was stupid, and this one especially. It was kind of hard to eventually find cheap, but I did eventually find it pretty cheap, around what I sold it for, I think, so I was pretty happy with that. I picked up collection 1 of Titania and collection 2 of Titania. This is a space opera, like war politics heavy series. It is based on, the original story is from a Yoshiki Tanaka, who did Legend of the Galactic Heroes. And this is basically like, if you can't, especially now, if you can't afford to spend like multiple thousands of dollars or whatever it probably costs now to get the Legend of the Galactic Heroes set, now that it's out of print, then this is kind of, and you don't want to spend like 160 episodes on Legend of the Galactic Heroes, then this is pretty much your best other option. This is I mean, it's still pretty, you know, out of print now, but it's not the worst to find. I think it's on Retro Crush streaming in 1080p, which is one of the things I was sort of cautious about going for these DVDs. The series was made in high definition. There is a Blu-ray in Japan. It looks pretty great, and like I said, it's streaming, I'm pretty sure, in high definition on Retro Crush. I'm kind of hoping maybe it's something that will get rescued by a discotheque, or maybe even Sentai themselves will decide to do a Blu-ray. But anyway, yeah, so I'm not really sure why I decided to sell this in the past, but I did. I do like the character designs, which are done by Haruhiko Mikimoto, who worked on Macross, Gunbuster and Gundam, and the director is Nobuo Ishiguro. I don't know if you can see it there, the light on the screen is pretty bright, who did Macross, Megazone 2-3 and Astro Boy. I don't know which version of Astro Boy, presumably the 1980 version, maybe. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, Titania. I'm not going to spend too long on each of these because I have a lot to get through, but yeah, really nice disc art across both of the volumes. I actually had to replace this case, which is why it's not the same. My original second-hand copy came with a clear case, which was already a replacement of the original Sentai one, and the only 2-disc black case I had available was one like this. But yeah, Titania. At least it was either, you know, I can't remember which volume it was. One of them I had to replace specifically for that reason. It might have actually been the first one. I can't remember. Anyway, Titania. Very happy to have that. This is one that I actually do still own on DVD, and I thought I had completed on DVD for years. I had all 4 volumes for both across both seasons. It came out, yeah, two volumes per season from ADV. 90s comedy, fantasy series, isekai series that I actually really like. A lot of people are sort of not too into it. I really enjoy it. I think it's a really funny series, and that's Those Who Hunt Elves, the complete collection. So yeah, I thought I actually owned this series complete already, but it turns out that when I was going through the discs once upon a time, I can't remember when, a few years ago, I found that no, I have season 1 complete, and I have season 2 in terms of its boxes complete, like the disc, the actual cases, but unfortunately the final part, you know, season 2 part 2, I have season 2 part 1's disc in it, so I have that twice. Obviously a mess up when I bought it ages and ages ago, and I just didn't recognise it because I didn't watch it straight away, so that was a bummer. And I didn't really want 4, volumes on the shelf for this show because I always quite liked the look of this edition. It does come in a double wide case, which is perhaps unnecessary. They did do an anime, whatever the Sentai thing was, a classics, I can't remember what their version, Sentai Selects I think it was actually, but it had the horrible border on it, and yeah, you could reverse the artwork, but I like to have the proper info on the back. It's just how I prefer it. So I went out of my way to track down this version. It fluctuates in price a little bit, but I eventually found it pretty cheap. They did do a standard definition Blu-ray of this, which is apparently not too bad, but ultimately I decided to go for the DVDs. Like, when it's a standard def on Blu-ray, like, if I prefer the DVD packaging, willing to have it take up more space on the shelf or whatever because I like the show anyway, then I'll go for the DVDs most of the time. So anyway, it does come in a stack pack, which I would like to replace. These stack packs are so weird because you get obviously all 4 discs on a single disc tray nub thing, whatever, and then you just get this big bit of foam in there to make them more secure. And I'm just like, it's not like they don't make 4-way DVD cases. Like, it's such a weird, I don't know, like, obviously this must have been economically cheaper and better for them to do sets this way for a little period, because I've got a few that are come like this, but it's just like so weird. Like, my Sakura Wars TV series set comes in packaging like this, as does my Vampire Princess Miu set from me in Japan. But yeah, the disc art just got all the characters on it. And yeah, this series is just really funny. I'm going to read a little bit on the back because I want to recommend this series because it's one of my favourites from the 90s. And I think it gets slightly a weird rep online where people either love it or they hate it. So yeah, warning, warning, naked elves ahead. The elves of Middle-earth never faced a foe as terrifying, as determined, and as downright demented as those who hunt elves. Strongman Junpei, who's this like kind of biker gang sort of guy, I think, from what I remember, and then Hollywood actress Ari, A-I-R-I, and then teenager Ritsuko, and their T-74 tank, who when they go through the portal, the tank kind of comes to life in a way, which is pretty great. It's like, it acts like a dog. So yeah, have landed in a different world of elves, and the spell to send them home is run amok and split into 5 pieces that appear as tattoos on the bodies of 5 young female elves. So they're sent out on a quest to strip every elf they can lay their hands on until they find missing spell pieces. Like, this isn't an ecchi show like it would have been probably if it was made like 15 years later, but this was made in, I think, 1996 and 1997 for both seasons, so yeah, it's not ecchi at all really. I don't think there's any nudity as such, like it's this sort of stuff, but there's no like explicit stuff. So yeah, get ready for the get ready for the wildest, craziest fantasy ever animated, as those who hunt elves proves that elf stripping is more than just a job, it's an adventure. I genuinely think this is one of the better shows of the 90s. It's like, I mean, is it like, this is off like the top of my head, but I would probably put it in like my top 30, probably in the 20s somewhere, as like one of the better shows in the 90s, maybe even higher than that. I've never done a proper list in my mind, but I really do like this show. I think it gets a bit of a bad rep. It's really funny, like there's some fantastic jokes in this, and the characters are just great. Like Junpei here is an absolute riot. The elf that ends up tagging along with them, I think she's an elf, I'm pretty sure, yeah, because I think she has like the first of the tattoos maybe, or maybe she was the one that's supposed to help them get back. Maybe she was like the queen of the elves or something, I can't quite remember, or princess, but anyway, like it's just complete, like she's just hilarious, and she ends up turning into, is it still in here? Yeah, she ends up like turning into this like super grumpy like freaking panda at one point. And there's just like a mountain, there's like a tidal wave of toilet roll in this at some point, and things like that. It's absolutely absurd. I don't need to talk about it anymore, I guess, but I really highly recommend Those Who Hunt Elves. If you're into shows like, say, Slayers and stuff, it's not quite on that level, but it's really funny, and if you kind of do like 90s anime comedies, I think this is one of the better ones. So for me, it does come highly recommended. Although obviously, my opinion doesn't necessarily match everyone else's. Like it's definitely a love and hate sort of show. It feels like some people just don't really get it and don't really enjoy it, and others like me find it absolutely hilarious. So yeah, Those Who Hunt Elves. Here's one I should have bought when it come out. It went out of print really quickly, which did kind of take me off guard. I think it was only in print for like 2 years, if that, which is quite a while. But when you're buying anime the way I do, like sometimes 2 years is not long enough for something to stay in print. It seemed to be a very quick license rescue, and then it was like a done and dusted sort of thing. I did used to own this. I think I've owned this twice already. I think I had the original art box release with 3 volumes in a nice art box, and then I got a fin pack version later on, which I also sold along with the OVA, because I had the hentai version of the OVA. But I still need to get the OVA, the original. But for now, I have the TV series, which is, yeah, Mezzo, DSA, Danger Service Agency. So yes, this is a Yasuomi Uematsu character designed and directed. I'm pretty sure he directed it. Original story, director, character design, yeah. Yasuomi Uematsu. Well, I really like his stuff. I think he does really cool... I like his character designs a lot, and I really like his take on sci-fi. Yeah, and it's kind of unfortunate that he's more renowned for like hentai thanks to the success of Kite and the original Mezzo, but like those were basically projects that he kind of like, he didn't want to necessarily make hentai, as far as I understand it. Like it was more like, okay, we'll fund your project if you make it a hentai. So basically you get this really cool like sci-fi story that just happens to have like a couple of sex scenes in it in order to sell it as a hentai. So yeah, like that's why you can get like edited versions of both Mezzo Forte and Kite, the original, like specifically for like, because it's kind of how they were intended originally anyway. Like the sex scenes, you can splice them out and you don't miss any story whatsoever. So yeah, anyway. Obviously this doesn't have any of that because this was a TV series. I think it still has like some light ecchi stuff in it, but nothing too egregious. I really like the packaging on this. It does kind of match what ADV did in the past, but I really do like it. It's just really colourful and cool, and I'm really happy to have this. This can go for a pretty penny. I was able to thankfully track it down for a very reasonable price, probably cheaper than what it would have been brand new, I'm pretty sure. I think I got it for around £15, so I was really chuffed with that, and I'm very happy to have it in the collection. Not watched it yet, but plan to. Is that broken? No, okay, that's good. I thought the tray was broken, but it's not. So I've got some pretty cool disc art as well. I like how the logos look on these and stuff. So yeah, Mezzo DSA 2004 single core series, sci-fi action. I'm really hoping to like this one, not necessarily expecting to love it or anything, but I'm hoping to enjoy it, and I definitely need to get the OVA as well, which Sentai actually did put out, but it's kind of annoying. They put out Mezzo Forte, so yeah, the 2-episode OVA, but they put it out under the hentai label, and they basically did it as a double pack where you had the unedited and the edited version, which isn't the worst thing in the world particularly, but the packaging on those are like horrible. Like they're black with just this cover on it, and then the reverse cover is like ultra hentai, like nudity all over it, just basically screenshots of all the sex scenes and stuff. So yeah, I don't really want that version because I don't like how it looks like on the black cover, and I'm not interested in what it looks like on the other side either. So I'm probably going to try and track down the Media Blasters original DVD. It'd be cool if there was a Blu-ray that came out like Kite. That would be cool at some point, but it doesn't seem likely at the moment. And then probably the final pickup. Actually, there is one more I picked up outside, which is going to be a massive anticlimax because I bought it totally on a whim. But whatever. So yeah, the penultimate one for this part of this Sentai DVD haul pickup video thing. Yeah, I've talked about this before. How I want to basically kind of see all of the early 2000s 4x3 full screen standard definition anime that came out, because it's where I cut my teeth and became a fan of anime in general. It's where all my formative shows were, and it's where a lot of the shows that I hold in the highest regard and the most dear to my heart reside, like shows like Fullmetal Alchemist, Eureka 7, Scrap Princess, Razafon, Last Exile, all these shows. Um, this show will not be anything like those or anywhere near that quality, but there's just something about that period where that's where I was discovering anime and seeing all those trailers. I've talked about it before on the volumes I was picking up, and it's just, I know about basically everything that came out from that period, and yeah, I kind of just want to see it all and own it all, including a show like this. Now, the one thing that kind of did attract me to this show was the fact that it's based around the sea, so it's a really bright looking show, and I really like anime that are just based around the sea because I live near the sea and I have done my whole life basically. So yeah, I just kind of find that a attractive part of a show, even when on the surface this is basically kind of like an ecchi show. But I picked out collection 1 and 2. One of these is kind of hard to find. I think it might be collection 1. I can't remember. But yeah, Daphne in the Brilliant Blue, which I think was originally put out by Genian, across like 7 volumes in an art box. I think it was Genian. And yeah, and then Sentai Filmworks rescued the show. Didn't do a complete collection, but they did do 2 parts to complete the show. So yeah, collection 1. And this comes obviously with an English dub, being that it's from the bubble period and all that. Again, not a show I'm expecting to like love or anything, but yeah, I don't know, decided to pick it up because it was just one of the shows from that period, and I had the opportunity to pick it up at a pretty decent price. I think collection 2 I got really cheap, and then collection 1 I had to pay a little bit more for, but not a lot. I think this was like £20, which is a bit more. I'd rather pay 20 for both, frankly, but £20 for collection 1. I'm pretty sure this is the one that's really hard to find for some reason, or maybe it's the second one, whatever. Regardless, which one it is, it definitely tends to go for more than that. So yeah, happy to own that. Another show to add to the backlog. And then the one that I completely forgot about at the beginning of this video, but yeah, I picked this up on a whim on eBay because it's a really expensive DVD these days. I think it's because it's Aniplex, is it? Doesn't say that. It says TBS Animation. Is there anything from Aniplex on here? AIC? No. But yeah, so it's not Aniplex, it's just out of print and goes for a lot of money, and someone was selling it here in the UK for like £10, and I knew that was a good deal for this DVD, and like whenever I bought it, like 2020 I guess. So yeah, it's not in the greatest of condition. It did come out in the UK and it's quite expensive as well because it's out of print in the UK, but yeah, Samurai Harem. Yeah, I'm just like kind of desperate, I guess, for Samurai Jidaigeki, I think that's how you say it, shows, you know, shows about samurai, although I don't think this is set in that period, certainly not, I'm pretty sure. I think it's set in like a dojo in a high school or whatever, so yeah, just a samurai type show, I guess. I don't know. Obviously ecchi harem. His skill with a sword is magnificent, but his social skills still need a lot of work. Yeah, it's a harem show. I don't know. It was going very cheap. The discs are around the wrong way apparently, so that's disc 2 and then disc 1. But yeah, not really got a lot to say about that. Kind of anticlimactic ending to this video, but yeah, Samurai Harem on DVD. Yeah, okay, so yeah, pretty good haul for the first part. I have a pretty similar sized haul for the second part. I'll hopefully go through that a lot quicker because a lot of that stuff I bought on a whim, as we'll get into in the next video. So yeah, I'm Vase, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon for the second part.